The colonel mocked her again and again, not knowing she outranked him by miles. The screen fades in from black. Tense music plays softly. A deep, commanding voice narrates. In the high-stakes world of the U.S. Marines, respect is earned, not given. But what happens when arrogance blinds even the highest-ranking officers? Today, on United War, we uncover the story of a Marine officer who faced relentless mockery from a colonel, never knowing she was leagues above him in rank, skill, and strategy. This is not just a story of discipline. It's a story of silent power, of patience, and of ultimate vindication. The scene shifts to a bustling military base. Soldiers move in precise formations, their footsteps echoing across concrete. Among them is Major Samantha Hayes, an officer whose reputation for brilliance in strategy and field operations precedes her. She's calm, collected, and respected by those who know her, but she has a problem. Colonel Thomas Greer, a loud and arrogant officer, has taken a peculiar interest in undermining her. He laughs at her ideas during briefings, interrupts her mid-sentence, and questions her decisions in front of the troops. But Samantha doesn't react, not outwardly. Her silence is her weapon. She knows that in the Marines, ego can cloud judgment, and patience can be far more powerful than confrontation. The first clash escalates during a planning session for a high-risk mission. The room is filled with maps, satellite images, and tactical markers. Colonel Greer smirks as Samantha lays out her plan. "You really think this'll work, Major?" he sneers. "I've been in this service longer than you've been alive. Don't overestimate yourself." Samantha maintains her composure, calmly explaining each step, highlighting contingencies and demonstrating her foresight. The other officers watch closely, some exchanging subtle glances of admiration. The real one dares speak up. Greer, blinded by arrogance, fails to notice the small details in Samantha's plan. Details that, if ignored, could risk the mission and the lives of every soldier in that room. Behind the silence. What Greer doesn't know is that Samantha's rank and credentials far exceed his experience in operational command. While he has seniority in years, she has mastered specialized operations, strategic planning, and leadership in high-pressure combat zones that he has never faced. Every mocking remark he makes, every laugh at her expense, only reinforces her patience. She understands that respect in the Marines is not demanded, it is earned through competence, courage, and results. And she is quietly preparing for the moment when actions will speak louder than words. Closing for Part 1. As the briefing ends, Colonel Greer walks away, smug and confident that he has asserted his dominance. Samantha remains behind, calmly reviewing the mission plans, her mind focused on the operation ahead and on the day when truth and skill will outweigh arrogance. The camera zooms in on her determined expression as the narrator concludes.
Previously on United War, Colonel Greer mocked Major Samantha Hayes, unaware that she outranked him not only in skill but in experience. What seemed like arrogance is about to meet silent precision. The scene shifts to the operation briefing room. Soldiers gather, tense but disciplined. Major Hayes walks in, commanding attention, not through loud words, but through presence. Every eye in the room focuses on her, sensing the calm authority she radiates. Colonel Greer, still smug from his earlier mockery, believes he's in control. He takes charge of assigning teams, dismissing Samantha's suggestions outright. He jokes, "I know how to lead this operation. Let's hope your plan isn't too ambitious." But Samantha stays composed. Every suggestion he dismisses is quietly noted. Every error he makes, every oversight in his planning is cataloged, not for revenge, but for the success of the mission. As the operation begins in the field, it quickly becomes clear that Greer's approach is flawed. He underestimates the terrain, misjudges enemy movements, and his troop deployment lacks precision. Small mistakes cascade into significant complications. Samantha, observing from her position, begins to adjust silently. She communicates tactical corrections to team leaders subtly, without undermining Greer publicly. Soldiers notice the clarity of her instructions and the calm efficiency with which she handles crises. Meanwhile, Greer remains oblivious, convinced he is leading the mission flawlessly. He laughs at the minor setbacks, not realizing that Samantha has already anticipated them and set contingency plans into motion. Hours into the operation, a critical moment arrives. An unexpected enemy maneuver threatens to compromise the entire mission. Panic spreads among the ranks. Colonel Greer is flustered, scrambling to respond, giving hurried commands that confuse his troops further. Samantha steps in decisively. She takes control of the situation, not by confronting Greer, but by calmly redirecting the units, reallocating resources, and executing a strategy that neutralizes the threat. Soldiers follow her without question, their trust earned by her competence and calm under pressure. Greer watches in disbelief, unable to comprehend how the mission is stabilizing despite his perceived authority. His confidence begins to crack. The scene closes with Samantha standing on a ridge overlooking the operation, her expression composed yet commanding. The narrator concludes,
Previously on United War, Major Samantha Hayes quietly salvaged a mission undermined by Colonel Greer's arrogance. While he scrambled, her skill and composure turned the tide. But arrogance rarely surrenders quietly, and the colonel's next move would push everything to the limit. Back at the command post, the tension is palpable. Colonel Greer, frustrated and embarrassed, begins questioning his subordinates aggressively. His usual bravado now cracks with uncertainty. Samantha, calm as ever, reviews the data from the field. Every report, every movement is cross-checked with precision. She notices Greer's repeated errors, poor allocation of forces, missed intel, and misjudged terrain risks. But she does not confront him directly. Her strategy is subtle. Let the colonel's mistakes unfold while she ensures mission success. Her patience is deliberate. This is how leaders with true authority act, letting actions reveal the truth rather than words. As night falls, a critical objective must be secured. Greer attempts to take the lead, barking orders and rushing his troops into vulnerable positions. Chaos ensues as miscommunication spreads among the ranks. Samantha steps forward. Calm, commanding, she reassigns units, secures the perimeter, and establishes a fallback plan, all without overtly contradicting the colonel. Soldiers follow her instantly. They trust her judgment because they see clarity where Greer's commands breed confusion. Greer's ego refuses to admit failure, but the discrepancy is obvious to everyone. The tension in the room grows, silent, yet thick with the weight of truth. Finally, as the operation reaches its climax, Greer's errors begin to have consequences. Supplies are mismanaged, and the enemy takes advantage of the gaps in his plan. At that moment, Samantha takes decisive control. She reorients the troops, secures the objective, and coordinates extraction, all flawlessly. The mission succeeds not because of the colonel, but in spite of him. Greer, watching from his command post, cannot hide his shock. His mockery and arrogance have collapsed under the weight of Samantha's quiet mastery. For the first time, he sees clearly that rank alone does not equal authority or competence. The narrator concludes as the camera focuses on Samantha surveying the secured area. The screen fades in with intense but steady music. Narrator's voice. Previously on United War, Major Samantha Hayes silently outmaneuvered Colonel Greer during a high-stakes mission. The colonel's arrogance led to mistakes, while Samantha's skill and patience ensured success. Now, the aftermath begins, and the true measure of leadership comes into focus. Return to base. The troops return to base, mission complete. Soldiers are exhausted but relieved. Whispers ripple through the ranks about the quiet authority of Major Hayes. Her tactical brilliance is evident to everyone, but Greer, still stung by embarrassment, struggles to maintain his composure. As the commanding officer convenes a debriefing, Greer tries to assert control, but the room's focus has shifted. Every eye now follows Samantha. She presents the after-action report with precision, highlighting key decisions, contingencies, and the execution that saved the mission. The difference is undeniable. Her leadership produced results. His, despite years of rank, almost jeopardized the operation. The moment of reckoning. In a quiet corner, Samantha is finally confronted by Colonel Greer. His pride battles with the reality before him. He attempts a dismissive comment, but it falls flat. His mockery has no power here. She is composed, professional, and unshaken. "Colonel," she says calmly, "the mission succeeded because of correct strategy and disciplined execution. I trust the troops to judge outcomes, not words." Greer's face tightens. He realizes the truth. He has been outmatched not by luck, but by superior skill, planning, and patience. His arrogance crumbles under the quiet authority of someone who truly understands leadership. Respect earned. Over the next days, the story spreads through the base. Soldiers openly acknowledge Samantha's competence. Even those who were hesitant now follow her lead without hesitation. She has earned something far more lasting than rank or recognition: respect. Greer, humbled, begins to understand that leadership is not about ego, seniority, or mocking others. It is about competence, foresight, and integrity. The lessons he avoided for years are now unavoidable. Closing. The camera focuses on Samantha standing at attention, the sun rising behind her, highlighting her determined expression. Narrator concludes, "In the Marine Corps, as in life, authority without wisdom is hollow. Arrogance can mock, but skill, patience, and integrity will always prevail." Major Samantha Hayes didn't just complete a mission, she taught an unforgettable lesson. True power is earned silently, decisively, and without apology. This is the story of respect, strategy, and silent triumph, and it reminds us all, never underestimate the quiet ones. The screen fades to the United War logo as dramatic music swells, leaving viewers with a sense of resolution and inspiration.